hello everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of our Alumni Talk podcast series brought to you by the Alumni Cell of Acropolis Institute of Technology and Research. I'm your host Yatharth Patankar, and today we have got someone truly exceptional joining us, a proud Acropolis alumnus who has made his mark on the global stage. Please welcome Mr. Ishan Tyagi, project lead ADAS at Audi of America. From the classroom of Acropolis to leading cutting edge innovation in autonomous driving and advanced driver assistance system, his journey is nothing short of inspiration. He's worked with some of the biggest names in the automotive world: Toyota, Ford, Honda, and now pursuing his PhD at Auckland University while shaping the future of intelligent mobility. So get ready because today's conversation is going to be packed with insights, inspiration, and story that drive innovation. So let's dive in. So welcome, sir.
Thank you, Tharth, for having me today. It's
Yeah.
it's good to be it's good to hear back the remember old days of Acropolis, what we were there, why we were there, and what we are having fun for.
Yes, sir.
So it's good to be back.
So, sir, first question to start
Yeah,
off, how does it feel to reconnect with your alma mater after so many years?
it feels great. It's been like what 10 years now, like a decade that I passed out from Acropolis. So it feels great to connect with you guys again and to know because I follow you guys very well what you guys are doing in Acropolis. So I feel so proud that I was part of that institution, and then it taught me so many things and it shaped my life today. And then I'm happy that how it's shaping your guys' life too. So yeah, it's good to connect back with you guys. It's always fun. I can never miss a chance to connect back with anybody from the college back again.
Yeah, sir. So, sir, what inspired you to pursue electronics and communication engineering as Acropolis? Because nowadays every student is thinking of going to CS and doing some computer related things. So, what inspired you to join the EC?
So if I have to give you a background, okay, so when I was in my school, obviously when you start learning at an early age, you don't learn a lot, right? You're just learning about science and going on forward. But I think in somewhere around when you start going more deep dive into your 10th grade or 11th grade in school, my my I would say more curiosity got me into how are these communications happening, like Wi-Fi, wireless. I'm like, I understand when you're connecting something to a wire, it makes sense. Something is going from A to B. It's so easily visible. You can see, you can touch, you can feel. But the question always came is like, how is this all wireless thing is working? How is this whole communication happening? That got me into this is like, okay, how I want to know more about it. So that's how I actually got into learning more about this electronics and communication. That's why my main focus was to understand what is happening in the telecommunication side. Like that was I wanted to know how are we able to talk, how is this, my laptops are connected to Wi-Fi, I can work easily, I can call anybody, the phones are like something very so handy that you can figure out so many things. That's how it got me into more into electronics. Plus I had a guidance because some of my cousins also have studied electronics and communication engineering, so it kind of like aligned with what they have given me a feedback how to get and pursue on this path. So that's how it gave me a little bit of um, interest that I should go into this field. Yeah, to be very honest, I was never a coder. I never liked coding till today. I don't like coding. So that was the one thing that I never wanted to go into the computer engineering side of the field. But yeah, eventually I think life makes some decision, and then I got Acropolis. I never chose Acropolis. Acropolis actually chose me, to be very honest. It's also a very interesting story. And I think when I was getting the institutions I chose for, I think Acropolis was my last priority, but it became my first priority after a while. That's why the college chose me. I always say it. So yeah, it's a journey. Obviously, that's why I wanted to go into this electronics and communication engineering. I chose this field specifically for my interest. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a truly inspiration, sir, because you chose electric and communication engineering as many students chose EC. So, looking back, what was some memorable experience or turning point during your undergraduate's year?
Ah, oh, turning point into my undergraduate years. It's been, you're asking me to remember something which happened 10 years ago.
Yes.
But the interesting, I think the interesting, all of the interesting turning point happened for me was through my failures, I would say. I vividly remember, I think it was my third semester. See, I've never failed anything in my life. I'll not say that I am like a topper student, but I was not even like I was not neither average student also. So I was like a good student. But in my life, for the first time, when I actually got my first back, like when I failed a subject, that was like a big turning point for me. I'm like, I chose this field. I wanted to be in this field, and how can I not pass a subject which I wanted to study? That became kind of like a turning point for me, and at that day I decided, like, this is now how it should work. This is why I need to make more focus. I need to make more understanding. And then I think that one failure taught me so many things, and that's how where I am right now. Otherwise, if I was have not failed at that point of time in my college days, I don't think so I would have been at this position in my career. Like in my personal life, in my career, I wouldn't have come to this far. But that was the turning point in terms of an education. But the fun part was, yeah, you do so many things in the college. You always remember all the fun stuff what you did in terms of having so many participating in annual functions and getting involved with all the faculties. I still remember it. Even if you go in all the EC department and ask about me, they'll be like, they never thought that I could have come this far away till today, because I was always on towards like the naughty side of the college. Like I always wanted to be, I'm enjoying my life. I wanted to be on. But yeah, like two things. Obviously, I enjoyed my life a lot in my college, but the important thing was my failure, which made a whole turnaround. My world changed 360-degree after that. After that, I was like, I really need to buckle up on my stuffs on that time. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It's still fun. And I would still say to the folks in the college, like, never get scared of these things. This will come and go.
Yeah, so it is likely said that failures are the building steps for the future.
It
So,
is.
yeah, failures are important. It teaches us how to live the future and what mistakes can make us stronger.
That's because failures actually make you more stronger, because when you have failure, you're already at the lowest point. What can go wrong after that? You
Yes,
already
sir.
failed. Nothing can go more wrong. Now whatever you're gonna try is gonna be either like on a good side or not,
On the
or
bad
you're
side.
already on a bad side, right? So it's always gonna be a good to know about what's the failure was. And then, yeah, yeah, I think failures actually make you more resilience, more patient, that you need to work on these things, and then someday the things will change for sure. Yeah.
Yes. So, sir, after graduation, what motivated you to move towards research and higher studies in electrical and computer engineering?
That's a very, again, same, if not the same, I would say the first linkage comes to that when I got my back, because I was like, I needed to turn around everything for me. I was like, no, I need to study more. Then I think, I will still say I would, due to some situation, I got a chance in 2013 to come to the US for the first time, not for the studies. I just came to the US for the first time in 2013. And then at that point of time, I actually visited some colleges here. Like, you do the fancy stuff, but I
Yes,
was
sir.
visiting colleges, and I was like, okay, I went to a college, and I started seeing the good thing about in the US is, like, because the colleges are still closed, but they're kind of open. You can still see the labs from outside. You can still see what's happening inside the colleges. So I got a privilege to go into one college, and then I was so amazed, like what is happening in this side of the world. Obviously we know what's happening inside in India, but I was so surprised what's happening inside this part of the world. That actually kind of motivated me to go for my higher studies. That was again the second turning point. I was like, okay, because I saw something from my eyes, I would say I was fortunate enough for me that I got a chance to be here before graduating. I could see something for what's happening into this domain, and then it actually gave me more confidence that yeah, if I can do much better in my undergrad, I can do much better in my graduation. Like after I come to the US to do my masters. So yeah, that motivated me to go more into that. And then again, my masters, when I started, I wanted to do more specific masters only. That's why in the US there are only three universities which does embedded systems masters. Like everybody does electronics and communication, but only three universities in the US do embedded systems. Like the course is only completely about embedded systems, so you learn about all the FPGAs, VLSI, whatever you actually learn into your undergrad is actually your masters. So that's also motivated me, like okay, now that was a challenge also. Only three universities in the US, like how do you get into it, right? After that, so that also kind of played a little bit more role, that took a challenge that I really need to go on my higher studies for this part. It was interesting, but yeah, obviously at the same time it was challenging also, because it's a different league. You do your graduation with so much fun, but when you switch the place for your masters, it's kind of like you're going more towards I would say the word is, you're going towards more niche, that you really want to go towards understanding like what's really happening in this side of the in this telecommunications, or in this VLSI or FPGA. That's why that motivated me to go more into this field.
Okay, sir. So great thing because you are enjoying and the challenge it makes something a difference.
It does, because to me, when you actually start studying for just studying purposes, right, then you will get bored. And that's
That's
always
true.
the one thing which I learned in like 10 years in the past. I would say not in 10 years, like in the past, through my bachelor's till today, is curiosity should always be there. The day you leave curiosity is the day when you start facing everything. You can't do anything basically. Even if you study, you are just studying for the sake of studying. But when you have curiosity, you want to learn, and then the curiosity make will always make you remember everything what you did. So that's why I always say that curiosity is the more important thing that every person should have. That's why it got me into this whole curiosity was the only thing which started this whole communications part.
So, sir, now I am curious to know about your PhD journey in Oakland University. What were your research focus and key learnings?
Hmm. Yeah, that's see, like okay, I'll go a little bit back with the story. I never thought that I will do my PhD. I am a good, again, I was a good student, but I cannot say that I can be so studious that I can start doing my PhD. PhD is kind of like, there's always saying, like, there is a small circle which is bachelor's, then there is a master's, a bigger circle, and PhD is kind of like a very tip. Like after that you are like, yeah, you are evolved completely, like you know everything after that. You don't know everything, but it's just said that you know everything after you've done PhD. So for me, the curiosity hit in my master's only. Master's plus it when I started working also. So I didn't start my PhD right off my master's. So I worked for 3 years. Then I decided I need to go into my PhD, because I was working for 3 years into the research domain. So I actually worked into understanding more how this autonomous vehicles work. So I started with my job after my master's into this autonomous vehicle domain, and that's how my curiosity got again more. I'm like, how is this working? This is a new field for me. again, I need to know more interesting part, like how can I get more interacted into this. So that's why I started my PhD in 20, I would say, right after COVID, I would say in 21. Yeah, in 21, I started my PhD, and my focus of my PhD is towards the vision based autonomous vehicles. Uh, So when I say vision based, is completely like you're completely just dependent on the camera
Cameras.
sensors. In today's world, if I have to say, I started my PhD kind of like into figuring it out how Tesla works, basically. Like today's Tesla in the US, it's completely vision-based car.
Yes, sir.
That's why I was more interested in to know how these things are working. And then that's how I started my PhD. Still today, I'm doing my PhD. My research focus is still to make it more, have the cars less of the less sensors. So right now I've evolved my PhD into something called as, again, I got my communications background, like vehicle to infrastructure communications. Right now my focus into vision based and V2X, what I say, vehicle to infrastructure. So that's how I got into my PhD, but it's going it's going good, but yeah, it has more challenges than I thought in my life. It's not that easy, and it's hard to juggle around with PhD and full-time job when you have to do both the things together. So yeah, it's a
Yes, sir.
fun at the end of the day too. Yeah.
So, sir, since you told us you worked for 3 years and you worked on global autonomous brands like Toyota, North America, and Audi of America. So, how has this journey been working one?
So this journey, okay. So I can give you a journey, how I started. So I started my master's, and I don't know if you know or not, but like in the US, you are still allowed to do your, you can still do your job while studying. So basically, you can still get a job while you're studying. So when I was doing my master's, after my second semester, I got my internship, like first internship, what we say, because we are still doing. So sometimes full-time jobs you don't get. So I started my internship at Honda. So again, a Japanese manufacturer, completely a cultural difference. First, you don't even understand what's happening inside. But the interesting part was I started with a project called something as a smart helmet. So that smart helmet was the project what I started working in Honda is for the two-wheeler markets. Obviously, I'm from India. That interests me the more because we have
Students
two-wheelers
more.
more than the cars, right? So that's why I was more interested to do into this internship, and then I started my career. Basically, I studied embedded systems, but then I shifted towards my career in towards autonomous vehicles. So it's still controls engineering what I did in my master's, and I studied everything with embedded, with this whole chip designing and all of it. But I was just making it towards into like how in this autonomous vehicle zone how this can gonna work. But when I started this project in Honda, it was so interesting because I was going to work on something which I can relate to from a perspective of Indian people, because obviously we all love to drive two wheelers and ride two wheelers, and then I wanted to have something which can save lives. So that's why I was start working on a project, smart helmet, which you can actually get notification if any vehicles are coming in your blind spots, anything a vehicle or car, because right, every time you don't want to look behind your
Yes,
back and then ride the motorcycle. So that's the first journey I started going into the research phase of it, that to understand how these things work. And then my journey began after that. Then I joined Ford, and in Ford I started working in towards actually making a collision assist features. So when I say collision assist features are something related to the active safety. So I'm now combining a little bit of mechanical engineering also in here, which is kind of not I studied, but I ended up being into that part. So I started combining both of the stuffs. So active, just to give the references, because whoever's going to listen to this, so they should know a little bit about is, so there are in the vehicles there are, or in any vehicles there are two type of safety. One is the active safety and one is the passive safety. Passive safety is basically your chassis, your car body, your bumpers, your doors, so they can protect you in an accident. And active safety is it saves you before even the accident happens. So how can you save yourself? So that's why I started going into the active safety. That started me in again an interesting field. Again, see, again the communication thing started coming. I was like, I can see a car or a person driving in front of me, but how am I getting this information? How is this communication happening? That again got me more intrigued into this part of the world again and again. So that's how I started in Ford. I worked there for a quite while. Then I switched. Then I took a. Then I got my career. I wanted to grow in my career. Then I, after Ford, I started working for Toyota. So in Toyota, I was actually so in North America we have a feature like driver assist systems, what is available on our Mahindra and
Yes,
what
sir.
is available on our Tatas. So I started developing a system on that. So right now in Ford, in Toyota, the function I worked on is actually on the market. So millions of cars are all driving that function what I developed while my working days in there. So that's the journey was challenging because in India I never worked. I directly came for my master's. So I never had any work experience. So I never know how the corporate world works. So that was an interesting journey to know like how are these things working. And then even when you're in the US, you're working for a global brand like a Honda, Toyota, because they are Japanese companies. So then their culture also comes into the picture play. And then you're trying to understand, oh, how does their culture works? So it was a very interesting journey to know. When I was in Ford, then it was like a proper American company. Then you're learning about okay, like how the American culture works and how the things work in the American corporate. And after that, now after working from past like more than 8 years now when I switched to after this when I switched my career to Audi, it's again a global brand, but now I'm into a German mode, like because now I switched the culture completely different, like how the Germans make. And German engineering actually always intrigues me. They are the best engineers, and no, I'm not saying that we are not the best engineer, but like their engineering work, what they have done from their side is the best. That's how this whole journey of different cultures, learning different perspective of understanding how things gonna work, how these cars are gonna work, how are these different roles I can play. So yeah, that was a huge journey I have. Still working, I still like my job, but yeah, now it's 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 something I always feel is like whatever I did in the past 8 years, it's actually making an effect for every human right now. That's the part which I always love, and whatever I've worked in my journey till today, and I will still love to do whatever I'm doing till the end of my life.
Yes, and loving what we do is some make is the thing that makes the difference and making our life more happier and enjoyable.
Correct. It because again I said right, like you need to love and enjoy your things whatever you do, because sometimes um, you may be too much talented, but if you don't use that talent for something, it's a waste. And even if you're not talented, but you work really hard and you enjoy it really hard, you can turn around the world. It's always the case. So it's I always say to the people is like always love what you do. Even if you hate it, just try to find some love into that work what you're doing. I think things will change around for sure.
Yeah, that's true, sir. So, sir, since in India, ADAS become a more concerning feature while buying a car. So, can you please tell what this ADAS is and why it is crucial for the future of mobility?
So yeah, definitely. Because like let's start with first the definition of ADAS. So the ADAS stands for Advanced Driver Assisted Systems. So when I say Advanced Driver Assisted System, it's kind of like a system which gonna help the driver to make the car more safe on the road. In a very easiest language, if I have to say. Yes, nowadays, when because I followed all the world market into where these cars are getting launched. So when Mahindra in their XUV 700 got the first ADAS features, I was so interested. I was like, okay, what are they offering? Because you know, Indian roads are chaos.
Yes, sir.
It's everybody knows this part. So my thing was how an Indian brand is adapting to this chaos, because we as a global brand always face challenges. We always think, okay, if we have to launch a product in India, how are we going to do that part? Because it's a big chaos in there. Because you need to follow the regulations, you need to follow all the roads, so many different layers. And then when Mahindra launched this in their XUV 700, I was so interested to know. I'm like, okay, what it is, and like what did they launch, and then how did they launch. And now if I see today, every person wants to have that feature, because it's not just a comfort feature, but it's also a safety feature. That's why I said, if you remember, I just said a little while ago about active safety.
Yes, sir.
When before having any accident, the car will save you before anything. So this is one good thing why we need this advanced driver assistance systems in all the cars right now which are driving, not even in just India, all over the world. Why? Because this makes the cars more safer on the road, not just for the drivers but for your surrounding vehicles also. So if everybody is safe, accident chances are less. Comfort is better, because obviously you can rely on a system which is going to be much more safer, much more advanced. Now cars are also kind of like a human, like, they are not a human brain, I would say, but like they are also competing to become like a human brain at the end of the day. So but they are also advancing in these super technologies where the car is doing all the stuff by itself. So this is a very crucial thing for the future of mobility, is because they need the every human lives matter nowadays. We can never think of see, the thing is, you can't change the way the human drives the car, but at least we can change the way the cars can behave in these situations. If I cannot save the person who's driving surround me, but at least I can save the person who's actually driving. But now the systems are made so advanced that now the system actually takes care of the people, those who are driving around you also. So it's not that you are only safe, you're keeping other people also safe on the road. So it's a very crucial thing, and in India I think it's a more crucial thing, because see, I have my past experiences. I have met with accidents. So I definitely feel these features are way more important. Plus my dad, he drives car every day. For me, it's all for me. I want to have his car to have these features, because then I know that when he's driving on the road that he is safe, and the surrounding people are also safe, because the car will automatically understand what's happening in their surrounding and then try to stop. Just to give a little bit more insight on advanced driving assistant, is basically, in a more technical way for the folks, those who are going to listen to this, is um, the car can do the lane keeping. In the lane where the car is going to drive, it's going to stay in the lane. And then you can choose your cruise control. Basically, like if you're driving at a certain speed, the car can do a cruise control, and when you add an adaptive cruise control, then the car adapts whatever the speed is going to be there. Plus it's going to do the emergency braking. Suddenly a pedestrian comes in front of you, the car will brake, so that the pedestrian is safe, even the driver is safe. So these kind of function makes the overall advanced driver assistance systems up in here.
Yes, sir. So, sir, since what are the exciting projects and challenges you have handled as a project lead, traffic rules, ADAS?
That's a very interesting. Okay, again, it goes back to a little bit of my journey. Like now when like today's role, when I say I'm a project lead, so now I actually lead a specific project for traffic regulations. So just to give a little bit more insight, is from the outside world, you see US as one big country. But the problem is, within the US, it's technically a 50 different countries. And so when I have to deploy a car, my car needs to drive all 50 states at the end of the day. So the problem is, how can I make sure that my car knows all the regulations? When I say autonomous vehicle, it's more leading towards a level 4 vehicle, where there is no driver gonna have any intervention. The car's gonna drive by itself. But how will the car know that it's following all the regulations correctly? So that's why I started this project a while ago at Audi. So I lead a team which works with me on this, finding all the regulations for the United States, and then I actually go and deal with the state governments of these states where we want to release the function. Plus, I also deal with the federal government. When I say federal government, is kind of like our central government in India, so it's a similar to federal government. So I usually go and meet them in the national capital in Washington D.C. to make them understand that there needs to be a regulation reforms. So I have shifted towards making towards more policy side, reformation side on these regulations for advanced driver systems. Why? Because the regulations are something which the car needs to follow in the US. This is what even all the nowadays what I see in India also, everybody is trying to get the autonomous vehicles. They are running so much, startups are running, but they will also have a same problem, like how do they make the regulations at the end of the day compliance. So this is what I do in here, and this is an exciting why, because for me, I really get to meet those people, those who write these regulations in this country. So these are like the policymakers. They are the founding people who writes all these regulations for this advanced driver assist systems. So it's a fun and a challenging journey, because always these they always have a it's always hard to deal with the folks, those who are in the government, than the person who's coming from an industry wants something tomorrow or today, government wants something in 10 years. So this is kind of like a challenge I always have, that I need to make sure that we both go hand in hand. If tomorrow I need to launch a product, it should go right away on the market, rather than I have to wait 10 years for that. So yeah, this is what the work I do up in here, and then it just expands more and more. Now the good thing is I'm expanding to India also on this section. So hopefully in a couple of years we will see something, we're gonna do something in India.
Okay, great, sir. So, sir, what advice will you give to the current engineering students who are interested in pursuing their career in autonomous sector, especially in ADAS and autonomous vehicle technology?
For the students, I would really say is the world is changing in a different direction now. See, um, I'm going to talk in terms of a perspective how in India till today we are still more focused on computer science. Like you just need to work on computer science, but if you don't make any tangible product, computer science I know can make a tangible products. But right now, if I have to say, my personally saying,
Yes.
not questioning anybody or not saying anything wrong to anybody, is just that when you do computer science, you are just doing a software development for something which is not tangible. For example, Facebook is not tangible, the Zoom call, which the app we are using, is not tangible. So that's why I always say is that we should start focusing on something which can actually make an impact for the people. So for the students, those who really want to get more advanced into this autonomous vehicle, because that's going to be the future. As long as we're going to make the road safer for the people, that's going to be more important. See how many deaths in India happens all around the world from these road accidents. I always go with the goal, if I can save one person life with the development what I do, it's a big achievement for me. So I always say to the students, those who want to achieve, is like, have a bigger vision into this. Think of it as when your family is also there, if somebody else is also there, how you going to react in these situation if something happens on the road. So that's why I always say to the folks whom I work with and to the students is, always go with a higher vision, that you want to make something which is going to make an impact. And the impact they're going to do with this autonomous vehicle technology is going to be, this is going to be a tangible product. You could see this working in a car, you could see something really happening, you could see something is going to save you from some major accidents, you could see the comfort of it, you could see how it's going to change the lives for everybody with you and your surrounding. So yeah, it's something I would say to the students is like, they should go into a different advancements of learning what's really happening now in the world. And the autonomous vehicle is a space which I would say is going to be a future. Whatever we are working on AI now, AI is also part of the autonomous vehicle. So it's not something which is separate, but how to utilize this AI into this whole autonomous vehicle is also an interesting journey. So I would always say curiosity should always be there to learn more in different directions. Even if you want to do computer science, then expand your horizon towards different side of a world which gives you a tangible product at the end of the day.
Okay, sir. So, sir, what an incredible conversation. A huge thank you to Mr. Ishan Tyagi for sharing such powerful insights, experiences, and wisdom with us today. Your journey truly shows how passion, perseverance, and learning never stop. You are beyond proud to call. We are beyond proud to call you an Acropolian. And to all the listeners, we hope this episode has sparked some motivation and reminded you that the road from Acropolis can lead to anywhere if you dare to dream big. So stay tuned for more such inspiring alumni stories right here on Acropolis podcast, presented by Acropolis Alumni Cell. Until next time, this is Yatharth Patankar signing off. Keep the curiosity alive, keep chasing experience, and be the star that shine bright. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.